So here we are again. We are here for Eligor now. My Eligor is a little bit different than others. There's a couple of different ways you can go about this. I'm going to show you the method I do. We're going to take it a little bit slow so that this mainly is easier to do through menuing anyhow. So we'll take it pretty slow. What I want right now isn't Buster Sword specifically. It's a matter that Buster Sword is set up very close to what I need. I need Wind on Cloud. I need Ice. The Elemental is a nice bonus, but not super important. And I need Binding. None of my other weapons have something that's that close. The closest would be this, but it's double fire, lightning, binding, you know. So I'd have to change these over to, like, ice and whatever to make that work. You could very easily, say, like, set up Twin Stinger to, like, be set up. But the problem is wind is a very, like, a limited materia. So getting enough wind is quite the issue. I guess what you could do is you could dump this onto Mithril Blade if you really wanted to, because I replace Mithril Blade through Nailbat later. So it's, you know, there's a bunch of different ways to do this. So I'm just going to show you the way I do it, though. One of the things you can do is Chain Bangle really doesn't make a big difference, but it is helpful. You're going to make sure you have Fury Ring on both Cloud and Aerith. And Tifa will have got her Dummerung. You want her to have Metal Knuckles, Force Bracelet, and Chain Bangle on somebody. You might as well use it, smoke it if you got it, right? So Cloud needs Wind, Ice, Elemental. You want Ice Elemental because Eligor is always weak to Ice, every phase. You don't need the Poison, but you need the Binding. You also want ATB Assist on Cloud. Skillmaster will activate, so there's no reason not to keep it with you. But it's not necessary. Actually, no, I believe it is necessary. You do want Skillmaster and First Strike. You can set this up a couple of different ways. What I'm going to do here is move Skillmaster down and set up a little bit of a tweak here. So now Cloud's got HP up so he can tank a little bit more. He's going to be taking a lot of hits, so we want that extra HP up there. Tifa only needs Ice Elemental. Wind Elemental could be Ice Elemental, but I need this for Rude, so I'm making an exception. All I need is Somersault to stop the boss, and that's it. Healing Parry. Parry you will want as a backup measure, just like in a movement overall you want it. Time, this is a good backup measure just in case Phase 3 gets screwed up. Eligor is weak to stop. So you can stop Eligor in any of these phases if things are about to go bad. Just remember that in Phase 2 he does get Reflect, so there is a chance that you Reflect stop on yourself and need to reset. ATB Boost is a more YOLO way of doing this. There is another method I had where you could refocus instead, but I found that using Somersault's far more efficient. See here. Yep, I've got everything set up properly. This fire isn't important. Skillmaster isn't important. We just need to make sure she has 2 ATB by Phase 2 so that we can breach Eligor's Reflect, so that we can spam spells and kill. Aerith is going to need at least 1 wind materia. It doesn't matter if it's Magnify, MP Absorb, whatever. Doesn't matter. Because even with MP Absorb, she's not going to hit max magic, especially because it's not magnified. Double magic up, you definitely need this. 1 MP up, you definitely need the ATB stagger here. Skillmaster will activate, so it's a nice bonus. First Strike and Synergy Ice. This is the crux of the fight right here. This is what is going to clear out Phase 1 and will lead to us being able to just nuke Phases 2 and 3. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with a gambit of attacking into Punisher counters. And while Cloud is there taking the Punisher counters, Tifa is going to be throwing her Somersault, and I'm going to be throwing Arcane Ward with Aerith. So it's going to look pretty tough, but it's not as hard as it looks, I swear. So we want to make sure that we have all this stuff set up. Soul Drain isn't important. You actually don't want to Soul Drain this boss because he's undead, so you actually lose MP instead of gain it. Blizzard Era and Arcane Ward are the 3 we need. So we're going to head on in here, and I'm going to take this a little bit slow. So we're going to attack and take the counter and limit with her and Arcane Ward Aerith. Now hold guard so you counter again. Disorder. Swing a couple of times. Berserk. And now Tifa, you want to make sure she has enough ATB. ATB boost right here. Close enough. There you go. So that's how you take care of phase 1. You can do that through shortcuts and stuff if you want. I would just do it with the tactical menus. This is actually a very fast-paced phase 1. And even I screw up with the tactical menus sometimes. The tacticals are really nice because they give you some breathing room. If you disorder into Berserk too soon, Aerith won't get all of her ice energies off, and it will throw off the entire rest of the fight, and you're going to have to back it up. So make sure that you get their 2 inputs first, before Cloud's second counter, wait for the second counter, disorder, hit a couple of times, Berserk, keep swinging, and then ATB boost Tifa. If Tifa isn't close enough to 1 ATB, you can do an uppercut with her and then ATB boost. But you can also just poke a couple of times with her and switch back to Cloud. So the start of this phase isn't too terribly difficult, but I'll just do it through the menus because it's a little bit easier to show it off. So we're going to go into Breach, lock on now, Eligor, move over. We're going to Aeroga with Cloud, and then we will Aero-Ra with Aerith. You can switch to Aerith if you want here before, but she should make sure she's on the board, so it's okay. Right here, we're going to start with a Blizzara, and then hold hard right and jump. We're going to keep trying to dodge roll out of this attack, or else we're going to get hit by it. So Blizzara, then hard left, and jump, 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 circle, 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 circle. Okay, now we're out of it. Now switch to Cloud, Blade Burst, and whatever. Okay, so that is Eligor. Now, it's a very quick fight, but it will take a long time to learn. This fight is, if you take it slow, you can get it every time, like I did with the menuing. The thing you need to be careful about is making sure that your materia is set up right. Because the further you get into the game, the more you can screw up your materia and completely hand grenade any semblance of a fight that you had. With debuff spells, since they're rarely used, I've been convinced into the line of logic that they don't need to be shortcut. You're better off just casting them manually through the tactical menu, especially with a lot of bosses where you can forget to lock on and whatnot. So we're just going to go in here. I go in, counter, somersault, hold. Okay, well, I guess that's how that's going to be. Disorder, attack, 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 Berserk. Tifa will uppercut here, switch back to Cloud. Oh, you know, there's a mistake you can make right there. Don't worry about Tifa's ATB until you see the stagger. That's when you need to be worried about it, because I accidentally stopped Berserk from getting a proc off. Disorder. 1, 2, 3. Tifa can ATB boost on her own. There you go. So, as you can see, you really don't lose a ton of time as long as you're decisive with your tactical menuing, so there's no reason to really not to do it that way. You just want to make sure that the reason I do this menu is so that I can make sure I'm locked onto the boss. You want to move over here to make sure Aeroga doesn't get reflected. That is the wrong character.
Watch out for high winds.
So you want to make sure you start that phase with Cloud, because he can tank the hit. I'll do this through the tactical menu like I should have last time. You can't see it, but I am mashing the hold right and dodge roll. So one of the things you got to be wary of is, I believe, tactical menu can slow you down a bit to the point where you may not be able to dodge properly. Blizzara, Cloud Blade Burst. So Tifa right here can be used to get stopped. I'll actually show you that in a second. So I can show you one of the alternative things you can do. We're going to act as if my ATB is completely screwed up and I couldn't do the fight correctly. So Buster Sword. Once we get to phase 3, I'll show you the backup for that. We're going to move Skillmaster down. The reason Skillmaster gets moved is because there's an oddity of my menuing where Cloud has 2 Skillmasters at the same time. And the reason that he keeps it is because I want the HP up on Aerith or Tifa for the boss. Abzu, or not Abzu, but Ghoul. Alright, so this will be the last time I show this off, and then we'll move on to Reno and Rude. So we'll get on in here. Attack. I accidentally hesitated. And then I'll ability Arcane Ward since I hesitated that way. Disorder. 1, 2, 3. Berserk. Tifa Uppercut. ATB boost. Make sure when you're ATB boosting with Tifa, you are not pressing any of the face buttons. Because you might accidentally input True Strike. Or something. In general, you might input any command. So what we're going to do here is, once again, Tifa, Breach, lock on, since I noticed it wasn't locked on. Aeroga, Aerora. So I stick on Cloud for a little bit there so that he tanks the spear. Alright, so we're going to act like I only have enough ATB on Aerith. Everybody else is messed up for whatever reason. So we'll start this phase normally, and then I'll make sure to jump her out of the way. Come over here, Tifa. Then I'm going to stop. Eligor, you see the wheels right here? That's actually what we're going to be aiming for. And then we're going to do this. You can do whatever you want to break the wheels, but it'll instantaneously stagger the boss. But I staggered and killed at the same time. So just so you know, stop, break wheels. If you do still have a caster at that point, assuming Aerith didn't get accidentally killed by like the breath or whatever, you can just cast spells as well. But at that point, Eligor should go down to a break. I'm also going to show you something real quick with the Whispers fight. This Whispers fight here is very weird. The way that the Whispers are dealt with is you need to hit them with a magic attack to pressure them, and then you need to stagger them so that the big guy gets pressured. If you do this without resetting, the Enigmatic Whisperer will always stay on the ground floor. You also want to make sure that you do not hit him with any attacks before pressure. Do the best you can to make sure nobody touches him before he gets pressured, or else he'll like instantaneously drop pressure. It's a really weird mechanic. I don't know why it works that way. Just don't let him get touched. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to just do this through the menu, but I will Blade Burst this guy over here so that I can follow up with Aerith's Ice Energy. And then we'll Blizzara, now that guy's been staggered. Blizzara again. And then we will Star Shower into Somersault. Okay, well that's very interesting, but should still kill. Okay, we're gonna have to do a little bit of extra damage here. That's very interesting, actually. So, now I'll have to show you the annoying way to deal with it. I guess she jumped into an entwine. That's very interesting. So what happens if you do reset, you'll see him go flying.
Say goodbye.
Enigmatic Whisper will always do this if you're flying. If you, let me see here, Aerith. Want to make sure she's lined up. Blizzara. Then we'll get Tifa over there. So, without the stagger, it's very hard to kill. You don't need this Star Shower, but I added in anyway. Enigmatic Whisper is quite the stupid boss. So let me show you how that looks at speed. Obviously, I'm going to have to deal with him flying away now because I've reset. If you start this chapter from chapter select or reset after doing the fight once, you have to he'll always fly away like this. It gets really stupid. So I'll just do this. Now Aerith will Blizzara. That guy, wait for it. Now I'll switch over to Aerith, and I can start charging Blizzara for this guy as he falls down. Blizzara, Blade Burst from Cloud, get Tifa over there. And then we can Somersault since he's staggered, and that should kill him. There you go. So the Enigmatic Whisper is kind of obnoxious. I just figured I'd throw that in. Just remember, pressure them with a magic attack, and then hit them with ice. Stagger. The more you pressure and stagger, the longer the Enigmatic one will stay vulnerable. If you keep chaining him with damage, it will usually keep him in pressure for an extended period of time. So if you like build up a bunch of ATB with Tifa and do Star Shower, you'll keep him kind of looped in, and you'll also get the ice energy as well. Obviously, this is the best way to deal with that fight, in my opinion, so... you can do it any other way, but I just thought I'd throw that in there. And I guess I'll be moving on to Reno and Root after this. Thanks for watching, and I hope this helped you learn something more about Eligor and the Enigmatic Whisper, and why that boss sucks. See ya. Peace.